Hi, everyone, and welcome to this information webinar on the Transformational Leadership for Sustainability program. We're very happy to have so much interest in the program. Just so you know, the webinar is being recorded for your benefit and for the people who signed up but couldn't join, and others who might be interested in the future. So just so you know that it is being recorded. So please just during the call, keep your mic on mute and feel free to keep your camera on or off. It's great to see some faces here. You will get the chance to ask questions, but we'll take it towards the end. So please, if you have questions, just pop it in the chat, and then I have Heidi with me today, who will be supporting with the technical stuff. So she'll keep an eye on those questions, and then we'll sort of wrap it up at the end with some questions. So from the get-go, I'll just say that Transformational Leadership for Sustainability is the name of the program, but you will hear us just say TLFS. Just to make it simple, we're calling it TLFS. So when we use that acronym, then you know what it is. So my name is Theresia Årskog. I am a senior advisor at Sea Change and program coordinator, and also practitioner coach of Transformational Leadership for Sustainability. I first came to this way of working in 2019. When Sea Change brought this program to Norway the first time. So it is a program that's been running for many years in other countries, but this was the first time we brought it to Europe, actually. And I was at that time just coming out of the university bubble, doing a master's in social science, and I felt like I was in a place where I had learned so much about the world, about global issues, the global issues we're facing, such as climate change and environmental issues, that were kind of my focus areas. And I just had this deep commitment and yearning to kind of, in some way, contribute to solving these issues. But I wasn't sure how. And my university degree was great, but it didn't really teach me how to deal with these issues in practice, and how to strategically work to shift those things that I saw in society that I thought was needed to shift to actually achieve the results that I wanted to see. So as a participant and in the program, and then through my practice over the years of the tools and methods from this program, I have learned how to navigate those complexities, and how to both articulate and shift the systems and norms and cultures that are hindering change or making sustainability difficult, and to solve problems while being anchored in my values, in what I stand for, and my inner capacity as a human being and as a change agent. So it's been a powerful journey for me. And it's also been so inspiring to see the profound insights from other participants and the work they are doing about themselves, about the work they're doing, seeing the courage and the capacity of people to just create change wherever they're at whatever level or place in society they're at. So that leads me to mentioning our wonderful alumni who is with us today. Jenny, Dave, and Aida, you will hear from them a bit later in this webinar. And also my dear colleague, Karen O'Brien, who will be introducing herself and a little bit more about why this program is needed at this time in the world today, and also give you a short introduction to the core framework of the program. So now I will share presentation with you, and while I'm doing that, if you would like, please in the chat just share a little bit shortly, like, why are you here today? What brought you here today? So just a sentence or two about that in the chat would be great if you would like to share that with me or us while I'm finding my presentation here. All right. So TLFS is offered by Sea Change. So that's my place of work. And Sea Change is a values and research-based consultancy offering transformational processes and tools to create extraordinary results for people and planet. We offer capacity building for leadership for sustainability, different sustainability and strategy consulting services, as well as partnering on research projects and also on specific thematic areas such as the energy transition or circularity projects or in education. So different thematic areas as well, and much more. So we have a very committed and small team working both in Norway and internationally. So TLFS is our flagship program and something that we're very excited about and proud to be able to offer to the world. And we also have several trained practitioner coaches in our team, and we're all contributing into the program in different ways. Now, TLFS is a professional development program. It's also a personal transformational program. So we're working professionally, but also on our personal development and growth as human beings and as leaders of change. It is a 3-part learning and action program, meaning that you will be implementing the tools and practices from day one, because it's learning in action. So through your action, through practicing, you will get insights and learn from your own practice that you will bring back and share with your colleagues or your peers in the program, and we'll work with that and learn from each other. And in 2025, these are the dates of the program. It's in the fall, and it's in Oslo, or right side of Oslo at Losby Gods, in September, October, and November. Now, Monica Sharma is the origin of the program. She built this program and created the tools because she saw that it is not just about the policy and the technical solutions, but how we show up as leaders. So the framework brings together the best of leadership theory, change work, and systems change work, and really distills it down to the ones that have proven results in bringing out change. And so she's very committed to this, that nothing is included in the program that hasn't already created results on the ground. And the program centers around 3 keys to transformative change. It's about unfolding the potential of human beings as leaders of change. It's about knowing how to shift systems and norms that are no longer working or is limiting sustainability results. And it's about generating actions for results. Now, as I said, it's a learning and action program. So part of that means that you will be bringing your project or initiative and implement your learning from day one. So something that you care about, something that you're working on, and bring that and implement the tools on that specific project. You'll also have weekly group calls with your triad group and practitioner coach. And so triad group is a group of 3 people, your peers working together, growing together in between the sessions. And you will practice and grow with your peers, a committed group of transformational leaders from different sectors. And it's always such a wonderful space to learn and work these sessions, truly. So I wanted to share some of why we're doing this or how. So the impact that Sea Change is working towards, we're working on what we would like to see is thriving people and flourishing nature. We want societies in harmony with nature. And TLFS is part of our work towards that. And some of the outcomes that we would like to see from that is that leaders and change agents have the tools and practices to lead transformative change in their work and in their sector, that organizations take responsibility and are creating innovative sustainability solutions that work for all, and of course that unsustainable systems and norms have shifted and measurable results are accomplished based on dignity, fairness, and compassion for all. So TLFS is a comprehensive and globally tested approach. It's an actionable method and tools developed at the UN, now used in over 60 countries for transformative results. It's also a yearly offering from Sea Change since 2019, with over 200 alumni from different sectors. You can see the book here, Radical Transformational Leadership. That is the course book that holds most of the tools and methods that is written by Monica Sharma. So you will get that book when you join the program. And you can read more about it as well if you're curious now already to learn. It is possible to purchase and read. Yeah. So Monica Sharma, who is she? Well, she is a renowned leadership development practitioner and expert, also a former director of leadership and capacity building for the United Nations. And she built this program, started to build this program at the UN in her position as the director of leadership and capacity building. And has since then built a constellation of practitioners all over the world who are designing and implementing breakthrough initiatives, transformative projects and initiatives in their fields of work related to sustainability or sustainable development goals. And we're very happy to have Monica join us as the lead facilitator this fall. So it's a unique opportunity to work with her on your sustainability goals and your personal and professional growth. Yeah, so it's I wouldn't miss it. And we also have Karen O'Brien as a co-facilitator to the program. She is also an internationally recognized expert on transformations to sustainability, co-founder of Sea Change as well, and a professor in human geography at the University of Oslo. So, so we have some really good facilitators here that that share their experience, knowledge, wisdom, and support the growth of all the participants in this program. So that I think is a good place to give the word to you, Karen, and for you to share some of your insights and what you would like to say about this program and the framework. So I'll give the word to you, Karen.
Great, thank you, Therese, and thanks for that introduction to the program. And I put this up because transformative change is possible, because I think that right now where we're at in society, there's a lot of people who are just, we're seeing transformations, but in the wrong direction. And I've been working on climate change and sustainability issues for decades, and recognizing that, the most important thing we could do is not just adapt, but transform ourselves and our societies. And when I contacted Monica Sharma in around 2008, she was working on scaling transformative change. And to me, that was really interesting. So we've been working with her on this, developing this framework, what we recommend as the 3 spheres. But just to jump ahead, for the last 3 years, I've been working on this the United Nations Biodiversity Panel, IPBES, on an assessment of the underlying causes of biodiversity loss and the determinants of transformative change and options for achieving the 2050 vision for biodiversity, which was called for by the government. So more than 140 governments have said we actually need to understand transformative change and we need to know what to do. And one of the key findings of this assessment is that transformative change for a just and sustainable world is urgent, necessary, and challenging, but possible. And that possibility and that potential is really important to me, and I think to all of us, is how do we realize that potential? How do we shift the systems and cultures in a way that actually meets the challenges? If you could go to the next slide. Um, and the takeaway messages from this assessment is that we actually have to address the underlying causes of biodiversity loss and nature's decline, which are similar to the underlying causes of climate change and pollution and global inequity, etc. And this involves principled strategies and actions. It means doing things differently. It means actually designing things differently. And I think what is really important here is that we recognize that, and this is based on 7,000 articles that were assessed and by 100 authors from 42 countries. We recognize that it's both small scale and large scale changes that make these changes. And so that is really like to recognize that, like there is a role for everybody in enabling transformative change. The breakthrough initiatives you bring to the approach will actually implement that. And so this is the framework that the transformative change assessment came about, is that we need to break these, disrupt the underlying causes and then really come at it through the principles. And so the underlying causes are disconnection from and domination over nature and people. They're the concentration of power and wealth and the prioritization of short-term individual and material gains. And if you go to the next slide, so the key point here is that our values and the principles of transformative change are really important to shift views, structures, and practices. And that brings us then to the conscious full spectrum response that Monica has talked about, and which I first we developed this as the three spheres of transformation, looking at the practical sphere, the political sphere, and the personal sphere. And these spheres are very much interconnected. So our behaviors and our technical responses are influenced by the systems and the structures, the rules, the norms, the way we organize our society, towards what goals. But often we forget about the personal sphere, which is our individual and shared beliefs, values, worldviews, and paradigms. So how do we actually bring the practical, the political, and the personal together? And Monica's conscious full spectrum response and what we talk about in TLF is really how to put this into practice for results. And as a researcher, if you go to the next slide, I see that in our research, we're constantly addressing all of these issues, but very much in a siloed and fragmented way. So we have a lot of people who are working in the personal sphere of, inner development goals and things. We have people who are working on the political sphere or in, political and practical and social practices. But how do we connect, like who we are with what we do and for the results that we want to see in the world? And for that, in the next slide, you see that we actually need a full response that brings it all together. And whereas when I use the three spheres academically, I look at practical, political, and personal, the approach we use in TLFS is really to enter the space through universal values, to enter it through what we care about deeply, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. And you'll hear that from the alumni. It's like, what do we really care about? And to me, that is really about like, how do we create these changes that are aligned with what works for the whole? And this really is a fractal approach to scaling change. It's not about small scale and large scale changes, but it's about changing patterns and realizing that we actually have this, like the underlying causes of biodiversity loss, climate change. These are patterns in society, and we can disrupt them and generate new patterns. So for me, it's been really engaging and important to not just use like from my head as an academic researcher and writing about it, but to put it into practice. And the first time I attended the course at the U.S. National Park Service in 2017, I saw how people were using it for, to protect the Florida Everglades or manage fires in Yosemite and get, like young people into national parks and things. And it really impressed me, and that's why we brought it to Norway, and we've brought Monica to Norway, and this is our seventh year of doing this, or sixth year of doing this. Was it like, yes, that's sixth year. And I think that the exciting part is that we can use this every day in our practices. So I really I designed, had my own little project for the transformative change assessment based on these tools. Every textbooks that I've written, every project comes in through these approaches. So next slide. And this is then going back to like what Monica is talking about, is that like just radical transformation, transformational leadership involves getting at the root causes. So, and she says, this is a radical systems and cultural transformation, sourcing our unique being with the deep knowing of the whole. We design and shape a new reality, new norms and systems that benefit all. And she says, transformation is not simply transcending differences or finding common ground or new formations. It is new formations, new patterns and systems grounded in what we stand for, our actions emanating from embodying universal values such as compassion, equity, and dignity for everyone, everywhere. And this is a practice, and I have to practice all the time, which is why I really am excited about this and excited to hear from our 3 alumni now, and I'll pass it back to Theresia. But what I can say is that it has actually given me the how of transformations, and it makes me realize that scaling transformative change is possible and that you all matter more than you think. So I'll pass it back to Theresia to take on.
Yes, thank you, Karen, for that. I'll stop sharing my screen because we would like to now hear from our alumni. Aida, Jenny, and David have joined us to share a little bit about their experience with this program and how they have used it. So I'll just pass it to Jenny, who will be sharing a little bit. Jenny, how are you today?
Thank you very much, Theresia. I'm really happy to be here. I hope that you can hear my voice, even though I've been sick for a while. So I'm not in my perfect voice, but thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. So my name is Jenny Skagestad. I work as a director for sustainability and climate change in a consultancy called PwC. And I took this TLFS course in 2019 and also in 2021. So I would recommend everyone to consider doing it more than once, because I learned even more the second time. At the time that I took this course, I worked for an NGO called Zero in Norway, working for climate solutions. And actually, I joined the course together with one of my colleagues in Zero, Ingvild. And I would also recommend that if somebody that you're working with on a project or in your daily life that you would like to create change together with, it's a powerful thing to take this course together, because then it's easier to bring it into your everyday work or life to practice all the different tools and change materials that you're learning in this course. So that's something I would recommend. So what do I care deeply about? I would say that I stand for justice, for care and joy for myself and others. And what has changed in me and in my work since I was so lucky to stumble upon this great course? I would say that the first thing that I said, that what I stand for, that this being focus in this course is something that I didn't realize how much impact it would have on me. So to connect with my inner values and understanding what I deeply care about through this course, it has actually changed my gaze and maybe my being in the world, because I have started to meet people in a different way. I am immediately, when I meet new people, I'm looking for and listening for their values and what they care about, what they're passionate about, and what they are kind of, what's in their heart and what they want to change together with others. And that's making me getting to know people in another way. And it's more easy to connect with people when you find what you have in common and what you care about in common. Another thing that I've learned through this course is I've been more aware about the importance of practice. So when you study or when you work, you learn a lot. I'm sure that we could all take exams in many different topics. But using this in practice for making transformational change. It's something else than just learning about and reading a book or attending a course where you get a lot of knowledge. And the practicing both alone and together with others is unique in this course. I like the way that between the days of course, you have triads where you can practice what you learned the other day together with other participants and also with a coach that has maybe been through the course more than once and can help you and guide you to understand more about yourself. So another thing that I've learned is to note down the different insights that I get in my everyday life. These kind of aha moments where I've actually learned something about myself and how we can create change. So what's an extra bonus about this is when I read what I've written later, I can actually see progress and I can see that I have managed to overcome obstacles and change and be a better person in the world for others and for myself. And that makes me believe that I can grow more and I can, together with others, create bigger change. Another thing that I've been really more focused on after taking this class is how I can give feedback to help others to grow, and how the way you give feedback is so important. And if you practice smart ways of giving feedback with your heart and connecting with the other, it's like unlimited potential for growth, both for yourself and for the one that you're giving feedback to. So that's a really good thing in the course, that you practice on giving feedback in a really great way. Another thing that I would like to add is that when we work with sustainability and climate change, nature, we have big, hairy goals. We really want positive impact and we're impatient. We want to see change. And in this course, I've learned how to design a project that can transform systems and structures together with others to create lasting change and deeper change. And that's really valuable. It makes it easier to keep on having those big, hairy goals when you see that you can actually grab a bite of the problem and build solutions together with others. And one specific thing that I've started to do more after the course is to look at and identify how barriers in a project that I'm working on, actually identifying the barrier and seeing that now we're stuck, we can't get any further. Normally, or maybe before this course, I would often have the idea that if I just work harder or do more of the same thing or work faster or get more people into the project or more money, then I will succeed, we will succeed. But in this course, I started to change the perspective on this kind of background conversation on just getting more and more of the same is going to solve our problems. So a really interesting thing that I learned in the class was how to look at barriers and trouble in a project and just declare kind of a breakdown, saying that now it's not working. We're not doing what is going to transform anything here. And just stating that fact, that's like a liberating thing, because then you can look at your project and a problem like with new eyes, and maybe bring new perspectives in and bring like the creativity of the team to look at the project in another way, and to get these kind of keys to go from breakdown to breakthrough is really, really an eye-opening process. And I really think that we need that nowadays, when we feel that some of our systems and maybe some values and some something things are kind of breaking down, and things that we've taken for granted as democracy and care for each other. and equality and stuff like that. When that's under pressure, it's even more important to like state the fact that now, okay, this is not working. We need to source our inner capacities in a new way. We need to bring in other voices, other perspectives, and start with our values to create what we want. So I think that was the most important thing I wanted to say, and I maybe spent more time than I should, but this was my statement. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Jenny. I think we're on time, actually. So thank you for sharing your perspectives and what you've learned. And I know you've been not feeling well, so appreciate your time and energy being spent here with us today. So before we go to our next alumni, I forgot to mention that we will be sharing a bit of practical information towards the end as well. So just hang tight for those practical information as well. And if you have questions for the alumni, please also share that in the chat, and we'll try to answer them at the end. So Aida, I would like to invite you now to share. And Aida, you've done it several times as well, and has also done the practitioner coach training as well, which is one way you move along on the if you want more, like Aida did. So yeah, welcome, Aida. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm fine. I'm happy to be here, and I hope to be clear and concise, so I don't use too much time. Yes, so my name is Aida, and my professional background is as a senior consultant in design and digital services. And the way I've been working with the sustainability has been creating services and products and projects. And before I move on to what is different for me with this project, I would like to share that what I really cared about all the time has been to help people realize, first help myself, but also help people realize how much do we matter, especially because we are in times, or we have been in times of losing hope. And that's what took me to the program that I got a very I lost hope for the world related to climate change, and the program really helped me to find my strengths and to see myself different and to see other people who really want the same in the world. So what is different with this program? As a consultant, I was really given a lot of budget to go to different conferences and new possibilities for learning. But what I could see when I went back to my projects, nothing changed. And I did not have the tools to work differently. And that was really hard, time and time again. But here I could really learn something about myself and the visible and invisible systems. I found my strengths and the way I could connect to other change agents of change. So what is different is really connecting all these layers that Karen is talking about, who I am, what is my strength, knowing myself better, how I am stopping myself through the way of thinking about myself, and then understanding the systems and how can I act differently and how to interpret when I fail, what should I do different? So this program has given me many tools, not like instructions how to do things, but many tools that I, through my, practice? Through practicing, I learn what works, what does not work, how can I do something different, and how can I connect these tools differently next time. So what shifted for me is the way I both see myself and others. I see the potential in myself, but I also see potential that in others who I might have been judging, is that the word? Dømme, yeah. Or not taking in as potential for my projects based on the way I have been grown up, or the stories I've believed on, all these things that I kind of know so well. So it shifted that in me, that I now can listen differently to what people really cares about, and also listen to those always coming back barriers through all the projects that are very much the invisible barriers. Yeah. But also it shifted the way I look at results. I think that was Jenny was talking about. I recognize the impact and outcomes I'm working for, but I also see results differently. And if I'm going to share like results that go through all my projects, like a red thread, is really like noticing how other people get inspired and acts differently. That has really given me the energy to continue. Like the projects I've been working has been related to communities in neighborhood or digital projects, or now in the municipality of Oslo related to poverty. They are not like really big projects, but I can see how the projects are entry points for bigger change, and how the people who are working with this project or related topics are potential. Before I didn't see people like that. Yeah. I'm not sure I can explain that so well. I hope. Yeah. So seeing myself as inspiration for others has been very empowering. And also I see that as results of my project. Yeah. Inviting people to that. And then the last thing, Theresia, you named this. I think I have joined the program 4 times. And then I joined the practitioner coach program, where we go through the same tools, but not only you practice it for your own project. Now you practice how to coach people through those tools. And it's really, I can see my growth. And now I can use that as part of my projects. One more thing we do to build capacity and invite others to see the problems and the potential differently, if that makes any sense to you. Yeah. So if you're a person who really want to create change and maybe you're losing energy, you will find that in the program, in yourself, and also in all the other people you will meet that really light up the darkness. It's really, I recommend that. Yes.
Thank you, Aida. Thank you for sharing and inspiring all of us. So I'll just jump straight into inviting David to come up. I know you have prepared a presentation for us as well, and want to share a little bit about a project where you've implemented the tools. So yeah, please go ahead. I might give you a heads up on time at some time, but okay. But just go ahead and share your presentation and a little bit about yourself as well, David.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Theresia. Thanks for giving me this space. Yeah, my name's David Barton. I live in Oslo, Norway. I'm a first timer, so to speak. I took the course for the first time last year, in spring of last year. And I'm a researcher in the Norwegian Institute for Nature Research. And so typical for a researcher, I have slides, my way of communicating what I did. I guess just a small personal background for me joining the course last year. I'd been recommended it by a colleague in NINA, which is the abbreviation for where I work, who'd taken the course previously, and then she took the course again, and I participated with her and a third colleague. So we were 3 colleagues from Nina taking the course last year, and as Jenny recommended, that was a very rich experience because we stayed together during the course and could discuss it between the practice days, and we also discussed it between the sessions, and that was just one more thing that it added to the practice and absorbing the material. Another thing that I can share is that maybe for the last 2 or 3 years, and maybe due to COVID, who knows, I was feeling a pretty heavy degree of burnout at my work, and that was despite having an incredibly interesting and privileged job. And really, I think one of the first things that Monica shared on the course, that this was also a course for people who were suffering burnout, in the sense of finding a way to regain the energy and motivation that got you into your profession in the first place. And I can definitely say that I did. And I also started to see how I could restructure my work and life at home to make things more manageable, and then to find this energy and this inspiration that got me into this field of sustainability and nature research in the beginning. So that's also a bit of background about me getting into this. And I'm planning to take the course again this autumn, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so now about my slides. I've probably spent half of my allocated time, which I'll share my presentation here. That should work. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to share an example of using a tool. Actually, the tool that Karen talked about, this 3 spheres. And I'm going to share an example of what in the course is called the Breakthrough Initiative. It's basically a project that I developed during the course, or started maturing, and then continued working on after the course was finished. And it's in Norway, and some of my slides are in Norwegian, but I'm going to speak in English, so hopefully you get the drift. And I wanted to answer some of these questions that my colleagues have also answered during their interventions, but through the example. So what do I deeply care about, and how do I work with sustainability? Well, through an example, I can share with you this slide in Norwegian, but it basically is a mosaic which shows you 3% of encroachment of nature in Norway in the 5 years from 2017 to 2022. And this was summarized in a news piece that came out a bit more than a year ago, and funnily enough, just a couple of weeks before the first course of the TLFS last year. And it talks about how in Norway we've lost 44,000 areas, 208 square kilometers of nature in the last 5 years, and nobody really knew that was going on. And the piece was published by the Norwegian national broadcaster NRK. It was called Norway in Red, White and Grey, and it was produced also with help of some of my colleagues at NINA. And why do I care about this nature loss? Well, the thing that really struck me with this case, and where I wanted to do something, was I personally felt this personal powerlessness as an individual about this bit by bit encroachment of nature in Norway. And you see this map on the left-hand side. It shows all of the 44,000 encroachments and some of the summary statistics about what we've lost, 208 square kilometers of nature in those 5 years. And then it shows some of the personal stories in each of these dots, like kids who've lost their local forest where they played, to housing development, a man who's lived all his life in his childhood home, which then gets built on by a freeway. And I guess I started to feel, although I wasn't aware of this until I came to the course, that this was touching on, and this is the green keywords up on the right-hand side, touching on aspects of dignity and lacking agency, of feeling compassion for other people experiencing this loss that I'm also experiencing, and then the unfairness of it, the losing all of this local nature that means so much to local people to powers that you're beyond controlling. And so I later discovered that this was touching on some of my core values, and the course helped me to think through what those really were. Basically what we're talking about was Karen's 3 spheres tool, which is one of the tools you use throughout the course. And it was really getting at, why am I personally engaged in this? What's motivating me, and what what values will drive what I want to do or change. So that was kind of engaging this outer circle. And as Karen said, that was my entry point to wanting to do something. And so what's different about this approach, and what does it bring to my sustainability work? Well, you know now that what I call my sustainability work is about working against bit by bit nature loss, and especially the nature loss that's lost without us knowing why we choose to trade it in for some kind of development, which of course has to happen somewhere, but and also empowering people to be able to deal with it. And I think what one of the big things I learned was to connect these personal values to the inner circle, which is the technical solutions, which I work on an everyday basis as a researcher, but to connect them through trying to change systems and trying to work politically. And one of the kind of images I could share about this, which kind of is a connector for me, which I've learned in the last year, is this metaphor of a planning train, which was produced by the Norwegian Forum for Nature and Recreation. And it basically envisages the land use planning process as a train where it starts with a municipal strategy for land use when a municipal government's elected, and then it moves through developers proposing ways of using the land, and then in the end it comes to zoning, and then nature is encroached or something is developed on that land. And all of the research in the last year that's been coming out, sponsored by the Norwegian Broadcasting organizations like NINA and other researchers, is saying that we're discovering this nature loss much too late in this planning train cycle. And how do we move up the chain to change things and empower people for change earlier in the planning cycle? So for me, this planning cycle or this planning train is one system, a metaphor for a system that helps me to connect what I want to do with what I can do. And what I can do is moving up earlier in the planning cycle to avoid plans for nature encroachment before it's too late. And how has this shifted the way in which I work after this program? Well, the way I work as a researcher is generating new knowledge, generating technical solutions, generating knowledge that I hope will change people's behavior. And before, I guess I thought that if I just produced the knowledge and made the technical solutions, that they would be used. But what I've learned in the courses, they need to be sourced from personal values, and they need to be placed in a context, the system context, where you are kind of addressing the right part of the system and changing at the right time and knowing which system you want to change. And one of the things that the Concrete Breakthrough Initiative dealt with was we produce technical solutions in NINA, which is really good research, but sometimes they might be too technical and inaccessible, and in this case for young people. So my inspiration in the course was to work with young people as agents of change, and young people as agents or individuals who may feel helplessness more than others because they're young, starting out, and they have a much less idea of how to do something that will make a difference. So that was the inspiration from the course to work with the science and make it accessible for young people. And I realized in the course, and this is again the 3 spheres, that I needed to connect these slices instead of having these bit-by-bit solutions for the bit-by-bit nature loss. I needed to connect them into one initiative. And the initiative that I worked on was creating this web application called Nature Inspectors, or Young Nature Inspectors. We applied for money together with a design company called Cantega, an association of biologists and ecologists organization called Sabima, and a forum for recreation organizations called Norwegian Recreation. And we got some money from a foundation that's sponsored by a big local savings bank in Norway called Sparebankstiftelsen DNB. And we made this web application that is mobile friendly and lets young people participate as citizen scientists in checking and controlling these nature encroachment areas and helping the models we as scientists use to become better at predicting where nature is being lost and accounting for it, and then compiling these statistics and making them more reliable for municipal governments. So a small tool to empower young people and make it more accessible to them through mobile-friendly web applications. And basically then, thank you TLFS, Takk in Norwegian, for making me able to kind of think across these slices and be have this conscious full spectrum approach, as it's called in TLFS or in Norwegian, being strategically aware of how to integrate things in a Norwegian translation. So that was it from me. Thanks. I think that was all. Yeah.
Thank you so much, David. Very inspiring to see how you've used it in a specific project, and yeah, so thank you so much for that. I will jump right into the practical information now. I see that we don't have that many questions, so that's fine. If you have any, please pop it in the chat. You can ask in Norwegian, English, Spanish, German. I'm sure several other questions, so someone will be able to translate. Yeah. So just some practical information. Let's see. So the 3 sessions are in September, October, and November in 2025. So first session is about being changed, being the change you want to see. We move into designing change, designing differently to make a difference, and then leading change, how to be a transformational leader. We do expect everyone to participate in all 3 sessions fully. I see that we're missing a date on the first session here. It's also on the 5th. That's a half day, so we've extended it a little bit. Yeah, always really powerful 3 days or 3.5 days to work with your peers and learn from these different tools and practice together. They all build on each other, creating a comprehensive toolbox and approach to dealing with the sustainability issues that you're working on. We'll be doing it this year at Losby Gods. It's a historical hotel just 30 minutes outside of Oslo by car. It's surrounded by nature, so we're looking forward to that, having a hike or something in nature. And there is possibility to stay at the hotel, but there's also, you can find other accommodation in Oslo that would be fine as well. And then we do have discounted prices for TLFS participants when booking through our link. So just to make that clear, accommodation is not included in the program fee, so you can choose whatever accommodation that works for you. Really looking forward to this. This is the space that we'll be in up in the left corner there. So that looks wonderful. So there are different ways to participate. Of course, you can join as a participant in the TLFS program, such as this wonderful group of people that's from the 2024 cohorts. But you can also help us to spread the word and share it with your network, with people who you think might be interested in this. You can also choose to co-sponsor stipends for students, civil society organizations, or other change agents with limited financial means. Please let me know if you would like to contribute in that way. And we're also interested in more long-term partnerships. We have we're in dialogue with a few organizations on that. If you want to truly support the program more long-term as well. So we have an application form on our website. You might have been there already and looked at it. It's simple enough, but we do have some questions that is more about us getting to know you and what you care about and what you will bring, and for you to reflect on that as well before you join the program. So we'll ask you about yourself and your sustainability engagement. We'll ask you about the project initiative you will bring and what results you wish to see, among other things. I did take a sneak peek on the questions, and I saw that there was a question about the concreteness of the project initiative that you will bring. So moving on to my questions slide. I will actually stop my my Sherry. But yeah, no worries if you don't have a clear project in mind at the moment or clear initiative. People come to this program from different sectors, with a different maturity of project. Some people bring a project they've been working on for a long time. Others don't really have a clear idea of what it is. Maybe they come with a feeling or an idea that's something they would like to work on, and you start from there and build your project as you go along. Like David also shared that he did. Yeah, maybe, you know, in the application form, just come up with a project or something that you would like to work on. Don't worry too much about it. And you will definitely get ideas and support to build that idea in the program as well. Yes. Any more questions, Heidi, from the group? No.
No, not
that's good. Then we've achieved our goal to speak with clarity and and give a good introduction. Please feel free to get in touch if you have any further questions. Heidi will add. You all have my email address by now, I think, but maybe Heidi can add that in the chat as well. And also, Heidi, you can add the link to the application form on our website as well. Yeah, so that was it from us. Karen, would you like to say anything now towards the end?
No, I think that I feel like it is always gives me a lot of inspiration to hear and see how, like, when you think about like all the untapped possibility and potential for transformations that exist, and again, going into the current context, it really is like these results make a difference. And I think that is where what attracted me to this approach really was the belief that every single person can make a difference when they are grounded in what they care about for everybody, and that we can design differently for change and do things differently. So sometimes we do feel overwhelmed by the insurmountable challenges, but then there are patterns that they can change. And I think that's the what I feel very committed to is how do we scale transformative change and transformations to sustainability. So I find that it is a space of inspiration and action and results. So yeah, I hope to see as many of you there as possible, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Karen. So thank you everyone who showed up and for your interest in the program. And thank you to the alumni who came and shared their insights and learnings from the program as well. As Karen says, I hope I see many of you in the fall in the program, and I'm looking forward to reading your applications and welcoming you in. So with that, we'll finish on time. And why don't you, if you have time and you want to, please leave a short message in the chat. How are you feeling in the moment? And then I'll say thank you and have a good day, rest of your day. And see you in September, I guess.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Hope to see you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.